everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sierra. This week's video is going to be like a part 2 to my how I'm dealing with mental illness and all that good stuff. I actually just got here for my therapy appointment and I'm running a little late, so I will catch up with you guys when I get back out to the car. So I just got back from this is now my third appointment. It was a lot shorter today than usual just because I actually had a really good week, kind of like a little life update. Last time I was at therapy, I told her how terrible my job was, how stressed out it made me. I literally cried to her about how much I hated it. And then 2 days later, which was this past Sunday, I decided that I was going to put in my 2 weeks notice. I did not really have a plan. I don't have a new job lined up or anything like that. And anyone that knows me knows that I like to have a plan A, B, and C. So that was very much not like me, but I just decided that that was what was best for me and for my mental health and all that good stuff. And so actually the day after I did that, I got a call from one of the jobs that I applied for literally a month and a half ago. And they wanted to do some pre-screening questions, and he told me that he would give me a call back in a week or two and that we could schedule an interview. Obviously that's not a guaranteed position, but it's something, which is a lot more than what I have been getting, which was absolutely nothing. So then I found another job that I applied for, and it's at a law office, just being like a receptionist. And they emailed me back literally the next day and asked if I could come in next Tuesday morning for an interview, and coincidentally that is the only time next week I have off besides the weekends. So to me, I kind of just took that as a sign that I made the right choice by putting in my 2 weeks and trying to do better for me, making myself feel better, do better for my mental health, just be in a place that is not so drama filled. Then I got those 2 calls, and the call and the email, and that just made me feel much better. Even though, like I said, those are not guaranteed positions, it kind of gave me a little bit of hope. And whenever I put in my 2 weeks, it was kind of on a leap of faith, but getting those calls kind of showed me that it was worth it. Even if I don't get those jobs, that things will open up and all that stuff. So last time I went, she gave me this little pamphlet about relaxation. It's like a little workbook. It has relaxation exercises and strategies as to like when you should do it, how you should, and like the reasons that you should do it, other than the obvious, which is to relax. And for me, this is really important because I'm always very go, 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 go. I don't really ever take the time to just sit down and chill out. And when I do, it's usually I'm just going to bed at night. So I don't really ever take time to sit back and reflect on the things that have happened throughout the day or the week or whatever the case may be. So this was really helpful, actually. And you had to go through and like write down things, like answer questions and stuff like that. And one of them is how should I relax and what will work for me, because obviously not every person is the same. Some people are going to be able to relax by listening to music or just, you know, kind of hanging out by themselves, just taking the time to be in the silence. And other people still want to, you know, go do things like go on a walk or go ride a bike or whatever that may be. So relaxation is not always going to be the same for everyone, and I had to learn that, you know, things that work for other people may not work for me. So before I had kind of tried like meditation and stuff like that, but it doesn't really do anything for me, unfortunately. It's too quiet and calm, and like I said, I'm a very go, go, go kind of person. So I need stuff like listening to music, going shopping, or things like that. Even though I'm still doing stuff, it's stuff that I enjoy. So to me, that is what relaxation is. So this whole little workbook kind of gave the different examples of that and all that good stuff. So yeah. And another thing that she taught me or told me about last week, I don't remember if I mentioned it in my last video or not, but I'm going to mention it again because I actually used it this week when I thought I was having a panic attack, or when I was about to have a panic attack, I felt like, and it really did help. And it's literally the simplest thing. So she taught me last time that, you know, being able to maintain your breath is really important. And I always knew that, but I was never actually doing it properly, I guess. And so she told me the best way to get your brain back in sync, to know that you're not in danger or that you shouldn't be scared, or that nothing's wrong, you're going to be okay kind of thing, is to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and then breathe out for 8 slowly. Because if you breathe all out at once, it's not going to be 8 seconds, and the whole point is to breathe out longer than you breathed in, because that's what activates the stem in your brain to be like, okay, I'm good, I'm gonna be okay. And last night, actually, I don't even remember what happened, but something went on and I started crying, and I was like, felt myself getting to the point of a panic attack. and I did the little breathing exercise like 2 or 3 times in a row, and I was fine. And I know that it sounds crazy, like something that simple is gonna fix everything, and I'm not saying that it's gonna work every single time, because that's not necessarily true. But for me, in that moment, it really made me feel like I had control over everything, and that was a big part of why I have anxiety, is because I felt like I was losing control of my own thoughts and emotions and stuff like that. So knowing that I was in control of my breath and that I was able to calm myself down, I didn't need anyone else there to do it for me, made me feel so much better. And honestly, at first when she told me about it, I didn't really believe that it was gonna work, but it did. In that moment, like I said, it's not gonna work every single time, but it's definitely worth it. But like I said, the key is to make sure you're breathing out for longer than you're breathing in, and not just like because that's not gonna work. It's not gonna do what it's supposed to in your brain. So you can look more things up about that. I can link some things down below in the description of how you do that, other than me showing you, because I feel like that's weird. So yeah, I will link that down below. Another thing that we talked about is the difference between pleasure and mastery. So as you can see here, there's like a whole sheet in this workbook about it. And it's basically, pleasure is like hobbies or things that bring you joy, which I feel like that makes sense, things that bring you pleasure. Not necessarily things that require skills of any kind. So things like playing video games, traveling, like you don't really have to, I mean, I guess video games you could consider that you need skill, but things like listening to music, you don't really need skills to do that, you just need to be able to hear. So there's pleasure and then there's mastery. And mastery is things that more than likely have things to do with your job or maybe schoolwork. So things that you do, and when you're finished doing them, you feel good about what you've done. You feel like you have accomplished something, or basically like it says, you feel a mastery over that specific task. So for mine, like with my YouTube videos, editing the videos, obviously they don't come out perfect. Like I have to do things to them, and they still may not be perfect. But to me, that they're good, and they make me feel like I know what I'm doing, and that I could explain certain parts of it to other people that may have never done that. So, like I said, I may not be a master at editing YouTube videos, but it does make me feel good knowing that I took the time to do it, and this is the outcome that I got from what I started with. Another thing may be like your job. So if you're in customer service or something like that, being able to handle customer complaints without a problem with that, with ease, pretty much. Being able to maybe not come to what they wanted to hear, but come to a solution that will make them happy or make them okay with the outcome. So things like that. So basically we talked about how those two things can also be relaxation, even though, like I've said before, doesn't necessarily mean, you know, you're laying down on the couch with your feet up. It's still relaxing because you have, like, again, you have a sense of control, and you have a sense of making you feel good. And while that's not always going to make everything better as you feeling good, it will definitely help if you can continue to do activities that you love and that you're passionate about. And then the last thing in this little packet is my relaxation plan. So it goes over basically it says how I plan to incorporate relaxation into my daily life. So basically making sure that I'm taking time to calm myself down and relax, whether it be at the beginning of the day or at the end of a very long stressful day, no matter what's going on, making sure that I take time to relax. So it has the different categories. So it has formal relaxation exercises and how often you're going to do them, or how often you feel like you should do them. It also has pleasure and mastery, like I just talked about. So things that make you feel good, making sure that you're taking time to do those at least once a week or a couple times a week, whatever you feel is necessary for yourself. The next thing is self-care, and on mine I put making sure I slow down and take time to make time for myself, and not always being a go, go, go kind of person, because I'm always jumping from one activity to the next, because I don't like to not be busy. And I think a lot of that has to do with, if I'm busy, I'm not thinking about what's wrong in my life and things like that. So making sure I do take the time to slow down and, you know, evaluate what's going on and see how I can fix it. Because like I mentioned in my last video, a big problem is that we're always told when bad things are happening or you're having bad thoughts, just to keep your mind occupied, don't think about them. And in reality, that's not going to fix anything. So again, just making sure that you're taking time to slow down and evaluate what's going on, try to come up with a solution, or even just as much as acknowledging, hey, something's wrong, this is what it is, and I'm acknowledging that something's wrong. The last thing that is on here is questions about, are there any aspects of your lifestyle that increase your level of tension and anxiety on a daily basis? And whenever I first did this, I had not quit my job yet. So mine was, you know, my job and how stressful it was for really no reason at all. And then the question after that says, how could it be modified? And for me, that was quitting my job and hopefully getting a new one of some sort. And even if it is another job that I maybe don't love, it'll be a new environment. I'll be able to meet new people, and it will be something, I'll be doing something completely different every day. So while it may not be, you know, the most glorious job, it will be something new, and I'll be able to take away new experiences from it, even if it's not what I want to do forever. And then what I felt like was most important is the last question says, what is one thing I can do today or tomorrow to make a small step toward more relaxation in my daily life? And I put, don't stress over things I can't change. Because in the end, that's just going to leave you upset, and it's going to leave you feeling like you're powerless and you don't have control over anything, when in reality you didn't have control over it in the first place. So, for example, at my work, like the way that people interact with each other, I don't have any control over how someone else acts, so there's no reason I should worry about what they're doing. I should worry about me and how I treat people and how I interact with other people, because at the end of the day, I am the only person that can change my actions. I can't change anyone else's actions around me, so there's no reason for me to stress over it and cause all these problems in my head and in my life and for my mental health over things that I absolutely have no control over. So like I said, today I only was there for about 30 minutes. Usually I'm there for like an hour, but today I was only there for about 30 minutes because I'd had a really good week, and honestly, the things that she has told me so far to use whenever I feel like a panic attack is coming on or something like that, they've actually worked. And so she told me, you know, just keep doing that, and for right now I'm just gonna keep it simple, basically, like with the breathing exercises and stuff like that, and see how that goes. You know, if there's ever a time that it stops working, obviously we can try something else, but there's no reason to throw 15 different things at me that may help my anxiety when the first thing she told me is helping for right now. There's no reason for me to try all these different things and the other things may not work when the first thing that she offered me is working. So that's what I'm going to keep doing for now. It's just my breathing exercises, and I know as simple as that is, and it might seem ridiculous to some people, and to me it did at first too, but it really has helped me. Like I said, I literally only cried for probably 30 seconds last night whenever I thought a panic attack was coming on. I got my breaths together and I was good and I was fine, and I knew everything was going to be okay. And I'm actually at the point now where I can tell myself, you're going to be okay, you got this, nothing is wrong, like you're not in danger or anything like that. And I actually believe myself, I guess. So that has also been a big factor, I would say, in helping with my anxiety. Of course, you know, it's not always going to be happiness and butterflies, but for right now, my life is pretty good, and I actually feel good about myself. I don't feel like I'm going crazy. I don't feel like I'm losing my mind. My dog's barking in the background. I don't feel like I'm going crazy, so that is already a big step for me, because I really was feeling like I was going insane before I started going to therapy. So again, I will say this in probably every video, if you feel like something is wrong, make sure you seek help, because if you don't, you're just going to go on months and months and it's not going to get any better. You're not going to be able to make yourself better on your own necessarily. Even though it is your actions that are going to make you better, it is good to seek out help. And even if that help is just, you know, finding a friend to talk to, you don't necessarily have to go sit in an office with a therapist, you know, lay down on their couch or whatever. You don't necessarily have to do that, but making sure you tell someone, hey, I'm not really feeling that great about myself, or, you know, some weird things are going on, I think that this might be wrong. Just letting someone know, don't keep it all in, because that was my problem, you know. Like my boyfriend knew, you know, that something was wrong, but he didn't really know why or what it was, and I think that caused a lot of problems with me, because I felt like no one understood me, but I wasn't willing to talk about it. So definitely talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, and don't be afraid of what other people are going to say, because if they think that your mental health is stupid, then you don't need them in your life anyway. So that is how I'm going to conclude this video. It's okay to not be okay. Always remember that. Not everyone has a perfect day every single day of their life. And if you do, something is actually wrong. Like, there's no way that every day is perfect for you. So yeah, if you ever feel like you need someone to talk to, my DMs on Instagram are always open. You can leave stuff in the comments, whatever you feel comfortable doing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys next time.